Hello everyone, peace be with you. Welcome to this Jacko Club's production. Today we are going to be jumping into the much beloved fantastical world of Tamriel. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for being here. Please consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell button for notifications if you do. You can find us on various social media platforms linked in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Vampires were certainly here. Suppose we are somewhat of their kind now, so suppose they wouldn't mind us taking whatever would be useful to us, but I'm gonna leave the rest. Be reclaimed by the Order in general. Leave that body in a more flattering position than the vampires did. See what we can't find here. Apparently quite the massacre. At least our boys put up a good fight. Give this body what it deserves. Only 2 vampires and 2 hounds so far to compare to apparently seems to be 4 vigilant dead. Best we're gonna get. Some recipes and some disease potions will no doubt prevent us from contracting vampirism. Leave their amulets. Let's get some more stuff to Uthgar to carry. Blood. What else we can do about these guys? I wonder which one was the leader. Forget her name, began with a C. Does not appear to be buried here. Or not buried, I suppose I should say. Left. Not slain here. Body does not appear among the fallen. That's where Uthgar ended up. At least now how this is a travel point.
I'm still here.
You trade some
What do you
things
need
with
to
you.
take?
I need to take anything, actually. I'm going to
What do you
give.
need to take?
All about giving. Very well. We will fast travel as close as we can to where we are going. I believe the stables near Solitude, since we need to take a boat. Let us try to not be too public with our appearance, given we are walking with a vampire. Quickly make our way to somewhere out that way. Though, does not appear that we can actually complete the quest in this area, unless that's what this marker's about. May in fact just be the quest is well over that way, but we have more quest markers in this direction than we do on the map. Probably like with the Dawn Guard. I do know there's a very fun mission at these docks we will have to do at some point. Not here. Yes, I wonder which guest that could have been.
Stories about the Solitude Windmill, but I didn't expect it to be that big.
Bless her heart. That's like the thing about Solitude that she thought was worth remembering. The windmill. Close to the walls, for example. I do find it remarkable as well that The windmill has been around that long. We do have Murdy's Beacon, I believe. I think we picked that up last time. Maybe we forgot. Uh-oh. I thought I went back into the quest to grab. I don't think I did. It is in here. No, we never grabbed it. Uh-oh. We'll have to go back and do that at some point. Seems to be the problem here. Well, the problem is that some nasty astronaut is setting my horse on fire. Can't have that. Get out of there, horse! It's gonna explode! Yep. Well, at least the horse survived. Not altogether that much common sense in glue, I'm afraid. There's a witch the flame astronaut was taking on. I'd say it wouldn't have been on its side if it hadn't been hostile at the very beginning. You wonder who conjured it. We will use the powers of glue to transcend the limitations of physics. I know that sounds bad. Don't sniff glue, kids. Oh no! Not glue. Let's try this again. A little less glue in our nostrils. You gotta get the right mixture. Pull off a feat like this. I don't think I should stay on this line of reasoning. Not canon that the Dragonborn sniffs glue in order to pull off the things he does with his horse. A little Freudian slip there. Account of the genuine presence of a wolf. I don't know that we have to take out the Thalmor here in order to get to a boat, but we seem to be somewhat in our way. Perhaps not. I don't know if they're automatically hostile, and if they are, I have no problem taking care of them. They're not automatically hostile, so unfortunately we will have to let them go for now.
This is the part where we usually get in the boat. You with me? Let's get indoors. Or in a cave. Anywhere, just out of this.
Hold on, Serena! I must do the Lord's work. Yes. And talk about All Hallows Eve. That's going to be our discussion topic for today. As usual, we have about 5 minutes on either end. And then we have a 10-minute break in between. Since I've already taken a little bit of break to go to the bathroom, probably going to make it a 5-minute break this time. If you're watching, you're not interested in the discussion part, not a problem. We will simply take a 15-minute break instead. If you are, you're very welcome to stick around, engage with us, and even to suggest things for us to talk about. In the meantime, I'm going to go kill the mud crab. While I collect my thoughts. I cannot resist crab meat. Gimme, gimme. He's a silver ring. Are you married? Oh, that's sad. Oh no. He has a baby. I do have some qualms about eating baby animals compared to adult ones, so I'm not gonna just pick that one up. And though I did just murder its potential father or mother in front of it. Not the best look. Let's just, there we go. We'll never know the difference. Well, on that dark note, and a note of honoring the dead, All Hallows Eve. What is it? What is it about? Well, All Hallows Eve, it's actually fairly simple. If you don't know what I'm referring to, All Hallows Eve is the holiday from which Halloween is derived. Hallows Eve kind of evolved into Halloween because All Hallows Day is November 1st instead of Halloween, which would make the eve October 31st, All Hallows Eve, Halloween. All Hallows Day, for anyone who does not know, is a Christian holiday, specifically one derivative of the Catholic Church, though I do believe many other denominations participate in it as well. It is followed immediately by All Souls Day, which is another day recognized by most of those churches that participate in All Hallows Day, if not all of them. And that is, All Souls Day is the basis for the Day of the Dead. If you're familiar at all with South American, Central American culture. Which, you can kind of connect the dots there as to why that holiday took off there. And took on the form it did, as opposed to the form it did in the United States. Protestant country versus a Catholic country in terms of culture. The United States very much became something different, and in the more traditionally Catholic countries it remained fairly true to its roots. All Hallows Day is a day basically to remember the honored dead, remember those who performed heroic acts of virtue in life for the sake of the faith, for the sake of others. Kind of like the Christian version of a Veterans Day, almost. Or more appropriately, a Memorial Day. A day to remember people like Saints Peter and Paul, who went to their death in Rome as martyrs for the sake of the faith. People who have... I forget the name of the saint. He's fairly recent in history. Relatively, I suppose, compared to those two. I can't remember his name right now, but I wanted to bring him up just he came to mind right now. A saint who went to a leper's colony in Hawaii, of all places, in order to take care of them. And lasted a lot longer than anyone expected. So those saints who have died in the service of the sick, those saints who have died for the protection of Christianity, heroes like Saint Joan of Arc, so on and so forth. Which sainthood, certainly a discussion topic well in of itself, but that's what All Hallows Day is about, and I think most people can appreciate at least the general concept of it's important for any culture, any group of people to have people to look up to, and to celebrate them, to give thanks to God for what they did for us, and to look into their lives, what worked for them, to make them into the extraordinary individuals they became, and how we can adapt such things into our lives. That's something that I still, myself, of course, practice as a devout Catholic. It's a holy day of obligation, which means we are considered morally obligated, all of us, and I think that doesn't just go for Catholics. I'm not entirely sure on that. To attend a celebration of the Eucharist in honor of that day, to come together as a community in order to ensure that this is something that we do. It's that fundamental to one's life and faith, which only makes sense when think of one's developmental life in any other context. There are times given, such as birthdays, for example, Mother's Day, Father's Day, days that are dedicated to the celebration and the appreciation, meditation upon the lives of those who were significant to us. If one intends to be serious about their faith life, it only makes sense to appreciate those who were a part of it. All Souls Day, which follows immediately after, is sort of a continuation of such, though a day which is just more a remembrance of everyone who has gone before, in the hope of the resurrection. Hence why, if you do know anything about the Day of the Dead, you can certainly see a lot more in that day, or you can see fairly easily how one evolved into the other. A day where people go to the graves of those they love. They remember them, they honor them, they pray for them, pray to them. I know that is probably the more controversial aspect Again, during discussion for another day. Perhaps one to talk about when we get back. I just don't know. Feels like something perhaps more for a short or a video on its own when it comes to talking about those things more explicitly. Maybe. I'll see how I feel after the break if I want to talk about that or something else. But yeah, those are those 2 days. Those are what's coming up. And I think for anyone, Christian or not religious or not, one can appreciate what such events could bring into one's life. And I hope that me talking about it now gave you at least something to think about. Hopefully moved you to appreciate a little bit more those people who meant a lot to you in your life. And I hope that remembering them will give you further strength to continue on and to have greater joy in your life. So we'll talk a little bit about the history of the pumpkin. On another note, since we're already talking about tradition, which is something that I am just wholly in love with as a concept, as I think a lot of people are. Just the opportunity to have something else to in your life to enable you to connect with people, well, basically all of history. More to connect in, more to invest with. Keep this guy up here. A little bit awkward, the camera doesn't go as low as my lap, but you can still see it. This year I chose, obviously, the brand design. It's for a baby channel. Wanted to go with this year, but it's something I normally take very, very seriously. I made a very intricate one last year. Perhaps I will show that off at some point. Something I love doing, especially since I'm very into art. I also find the history fascinating, right, of these, because the history goes back to even before the holidays we were talking about earlier, before the break, All Hallows Eve and All Souls Day, back to ancient Celtic culture, to culture, sort of a tradition that predates even the Roman conquest of the region. Essentially, there was a holiday, I forget his name, began with an S, that also, interestingly, pertained to the dead. And the pumpkins were essentially, carved to ward off evil spirits from the graves of those you loved. So, as time went on, first Roman culture started to intermingle with it. Just common practice for any society, really, when integrating with a new one. The things that are believed to be correct are, left alone. When it comes to cultures, they very often intermingle, become a melting pot. A lot of people, have some find themselves fairly cynical of such concepts. I never have been. I think it's only natural, right? Like when you marry someone, you want things in your life to mix together, to have neither of you have things that are necessarily totally exclusive to one or the other, but things you used to do, ways you used to act, the meals that you serve, the things that you do throughout your day-to-day life, the events that you celebrate. You want to fuse those things together and it comes from a place of caring, right? Not necessarily always out of just this oppressive mindset. So that happened with the Romans, and it later happened with the Christians, right? Those holidays we were already talking about. And part of that, goes for other holidays as well that had some pagan traditions. A lot of those hold over to kind of honor the history of where we came from, to make it easier for people to acclimate, to feel more comfortable, feel more at home. And also, to legitimately celebrate those things. Like, it's a neat concept, right? And it's something that, though we do not believe the pumpkin may necessarily ward off evil spirits, the saints may. So you can see already a connection there. It's already a day about the dead. So it only makes sense for, if a Christian culture comes in and has an appreciation and affection for the culture that predated it, try to find some middle ground, something they could all enjoy as the people were going to come over, which they of course inevitably did. The Celtic countries eventually became some of the most Catholic and Christian in the world. Even to this day, those very much fallen off. They're still very culturally that way, and they're very big over there. And to this day, we are still carving pumpkins in the United States. A lot of Irish heritage there. A lot of interesting history when you talk about groups like the Irish or the Italians. And a lot more complicated stories than some other groups did, like the English, for example, because of their heritage, right? The countries they came from, the cultures they came of, the religions they came from. which are all topics of discussion for another day. But when you think of America, one of the things that you think most of is the melting pot. And it's interesting to see in this holiday that has itself taken on that aspect, kind of secular culture of, the secular culture that kind of dominates America in the modern age, mixing with an old Christian tradition of All Hallows Day, which is already mixed with old Roman tradition, which is already mixed with old Celtic tradition. And so when you pick up something like this, I feel like that just enables you to deepen your appreciation of it. You are not just holding some random carved pumpkin, but this is something that not only you have done, not only is it something your parents would have done, your great-grandparents, but going all the way back to before the Romans made it into the British territories, the land of Ireland. Don't confuse those two, they'd be quite mad about that. Goes very way back, and so you can have something that you can connect with to people all that time ago. Things we still enjoy today, they enjoyed all the way back then. Well, on that little wholesome note, I think we will transition back into helping Serena reconnect with the people from her past. From, in this case, also well over a millennia before. Essentially. Actually, probably hasn't. No, has it been over 2 millennia, I think, since... Yeah, it's been over 2 millennia since the tradition of carving pumpkins came about, and I don't know if it's been that long in Tamriel, since there was not an empire in Cyrodiil, but I think of a long time. We're in the 4th era in Skyrim, so I think when we talk about the pre-Empire days, we're talking about like 1st or 2nd era, so yeah, probably like 3 millennia. Earlier, you were singing the praises of the weather, Serena. I'd tell you to make up your mind, but I know that you are a woman, and that is impossible. Once again, I jest. We like to have fun here. No harm meant. Let us level up. The vampires love to suck our blood, so we will give us more of it. And also, perhaps boost our restoration as well. We're on the subject. Probably. Yeah, we're not high enough level. I recently discovered we only leveled up heavy armor once. Perhaps we can level it up again. In order to enable us to be a little better protected from their attempts to suck our blood. One defensive strategy is to have more life force for them to take, more health points, and another is to have more that stands in the way of you and their health points. So, hopefully we don't get jumped from behind. It does seem impolite to me to be a guest in their home, just barging in the tower like that, so we will just calmly walk up this path, past the gargoyles. He's quite angry yet.
Hey, so before we go in there...
Yeah, what is it?
I wanted to thank you for getting me this far, but after we get in there, I'm going to go my own way for a while. I think. I know your friends would probably want to kill everything in here. I'm hoping you can show some more control than that. Once we're inside, just keep quiet for a bit. Let me take the lead.
You got it. Now, she would know that we were at the Dawn Guard just based on our equipment. I suppose I don't know if you know what they are. It's been so long, but perhaps canonically we just told her. Either way, she knows now. Apparently this became unfavorited. The Draugr knocked it out of our hand. Not to worry. Fix that and only walk our way in here. Probably should put the shield back so it just flash the Dawnguard logo in front of their faces. May not like that.
I
Hello,
watched
friend.
the gate. Ain't much else to tell.
He's not a vampire.
I watched the gate.
How interesting.
Much else to tell.
They even recognize Lady Serena, perhaps his portraits.
How dare you trespass here? Wait, Serana? Is that truly you? I cannot believe my eyes.
Serena. Apologize, I've been saying it's wrong. Probably haven't the whole time. The way the
My lord, everyone! Serana has returned.
I guess I'm expected.
I can't believe it.
My long-lost daughter returns at last. I trust you have my Elder Scroll.
After all these years, that's the first thing you ask me? Yes, I have the scroll.
Of course,
She
I'm
has the
delighted
scroll.
to see you, my daughter. Must I really say the words aloud? Ah, if only your traitor mother were here. I would let her watch this reunion.
Scumbag.
before putting her head on a spike. Now tell me, who is
See,
this
5 seconds ago.
stranger you have brought into our hall?
This
Go
is my
down on
savior,
that.
the one who freed me.
For my daughter's safe return, you have my gratitude. Tell me, what is your name?
I will be polite and tell mine. Who are you?
I am Harkon, Lord of this court. By now, my daughter would have told you what we are.
I can kind of figure from the whole eating people. I can even joke these are a reclusive cannibal cult. You're vampires.
Just vampires? We are among the oldest and most powerful vampires in Skyrim. For centuries we lived here, far from the cares of the world. All that ended when my wife betrayed me and stole away that which I valued most.
Or what that was. Perhaps it was his daughter. Country doesn't really make sense, but perhaps that is the case.
You have
What
done
happens
me
now?
great service, and now you must be rewarded. There is but one gift I can give that is equal in value to the Elder Scroll and my daughter. I offer you my blood. Take it and you will walk as a lion among sheep. Men will tremble at your approach and you will never fear death again.
As tempting as that is, what happens if I refuse your gift?
Pray, like all mortals. I will spare your life this once, but you will be banished from this hall. Perhaps you still need convincing. Behold the power!
Well, I certainly don't need any more convincing, though I don't think it's the type you're thinking of.
This is the power that I offer. Now, make your choice.
As much as I would like to spontaneously become hideous, I don't want to become a vampire. I refuse your gift.
So be it. You are prey, like all mortals. I banish you.
The feeling is mutual. Here we are. A little bit groggy from that. Powerful spell. Oh, very well then. We're separated from Serena for now, and nothing left to do but to tell the Dawnguard what we've learned. I don't know if we should have just let her walk back in there with the Elder Scroll. Perhaps we could have stopped her. It's too late for that now. We will trust in our principles. Ability. Pay us back later. Please fast travel to the Dawnguard game. Would you please? No? No? Okay. Well, we'll see if it gets better when we go to Stendar's Beacon. Alright, here we are. Yep, we can get there. Oh, I see. They're talking about all the vigilance being wiped out. Are there still any here? Seems so. Yes, there are. Fortunately, seems there may be some of the last left in Skyrim. Seems like the numbers of the vigilance are growing. Or I should say the Dawnguard more specifically. Uh-oh. Looks like, as Isran was concerned about, the vampires have found their way here. Unfortunately for them, the Dovahkiin is among the ranks of the Dawnguard. I'm glad I had good eyes there, because I almost just bashed a member of the Dawnguard's head in. Is he my enemy now? Because he got Fus Rodad. Oh, that's so lame. So lame. Game, you're a lame. I didn't even like... It always auto-saves when you fast travel. And it didn't that time. Alright, well, now we have to act like we have no idea what's about to come across, though. It doesn't make sense for your traveling weapon to be a ranged one. Especially in the land of Skyrim, everything's so open, you're not likely to get jumped. This is about where it starts to make sense for me to switch to a melee weapon, but at this point we have heard where the vampires are. Engage them with our crossbow. Anything else? Cautious not to hit our allies this time. I do see why there may have been confusion last time. There's more Dawnguard than there were vampires. What's this fledgling servant? I love that there's axes around here. Plastic vampire hunter. Classic Abraham Lincoln, to be honest. Don't ask me what I don't know why I said to be honest. We're rolling with it. Honest Abe, that's why. I'm just so good at this that the decisions predate the thinking. Are you the second coming?
Look at this. I should have known it was only a matter of time before they found us.
Oh,
It's
that's
the price we
what you're
pay for
referring to.
only recruiting. We'll have to step up our defenses. I don't suppose you have some good news for me.
We're just not gonna talk about that, I guess, whatever that was, but I have news, but I wouldn't call it good.
Of course. Why did I suppose differently? Fine. Tell me what you know.
Vampires are looking for a woman trapped in Dim
A
Hollow.
woman? Trapped in there? That doesn't make any sense. Who is she? More importantly, where is she?
She's a daughter of a powerful vampire lord.
And so you delivered her to them.
They also have an Elder Scroll.
They what? And you didn't stop them? You didn't secure the scroll?
I never got the chance. I mean, that's not entirely true, but never had the ethical chance.
I suppose you're lucky you're not dead. Or worse, one of them. By the Divines. This couldn't get much worse. This is more than you and I can handle.
We have to do
Well,
something.
of course we do. I'm old, not stupid.
Say you were.
We're just going to need some help. If they're bold enough to attack us here, then this may be bigger than I thought. I have good men here, but there are people I've met and worked with over the years. We need their skills, their talents, if we're going to survive this. If you can find them, we might have a chance.
Where can I find the people we
Right
need?
to the point, aren't you? I like that. Not like those fools in the Order. We should keep it small. Too many people and we'll draw unwanted attention to ourselves. I think we'll want Serene Gerard. Breton girl, whip smart and good with tinkering. Fascination with the Dwemer. Weapons in particular. Last I knew, she was out in the Reach, convinced she was about to find the biggest dwarven ruins yet.
You'll help us.
Might need a
Well,
little
should be
convincing,
enough.
But she should.
My
You'll also want to
question.
find Gunmar. Big brute of a
There we go.
lord. Hates vampires almost as much as I do. Got it into his head years back that his experience with animals would help. Trolls in particular,
Oh.
from what I hear. Last I knew, he was out scouring Skyrim for more beasts to tame. Bring the two of them back here, and we can get started on coming up with a plan.
Alright,
Stay alert.
we're good on questions. Oh, very well then. We may want to get a few more bolts from in here for our
Find
crossbow.
Serene and Gunmar.
Then we will be on our way.
Find Serene and Gunmar, and maybe we can do something about this mess.
You did say that, but appreciate the enthusiasm. That's all I was trying to show earlier when you accused me of calling you stupid and or old. I'm not this one stupid enough, at least, to do such a thing and unnecessarily draw attention to the fact that you are old. Or did I say that out loud? Not to your him. Anyways, or him. Yeah. Doesn't look like they've restocked here yet, so we have nothing else to do but be on our merry way. There's Gunmer. Down that way, and the person. All the way out there. Wow. Okay then. Suppose we'll get Gunmar first. Make our way to Riften. What a great video that was. Hope you'll consider checking out our various other accounts in the description below. We put out uplifting content 7 days a week. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. There's a lot more awesome content on the way. May you be there to see it. May God bless and keep you, and may we all live in eternal communion.